We all want that feeling of success, don't we? Like nailing a presentation, finally getting a concept that's been tricky, or just feeling like you're making headway in your personal life.
Absolutely. It's a universal goal.
But let's be real, it doesn't always happen easily. And you, being someone who likes to understand the why behind things, you've probably asked yourself, well, why do some people just seem to get there while others hit wall after wall?
It's a really fundamental question, isn't it? Why the difference in outcomes, even when people seem to be putting in similar effort?
Exactly. And today we're going to dig into a really interesting take on this. We've been looking at a video called Bitmit Enhan Que, Detaining Strong Might Len Vukti, TT Chon Quang. It's from the Radio Tunt YouTube channel.
And that title translates roughly to The Secret of Cause and Effect for Success in All Fields.
Right. So our mission today in this deep dive is to really pull out the core teachings from that video. What does it say about why some succeed and others, well, don't? We're looking for those insights that give you, our listeners, some real clarity.
And the central argument, the main idea the video presents, is quite compelling. It basically suggests that success, whether it's in your job, your studies, even spiritual practice, really boils down to two primary factors.
Two factors. Okay, what are they?
Merit, which is called Phuc in the video, and method, or Phung Phap.
Merit and method. Okay, let's unpack the first one then. Merit or Phuc, what does the video mean by that exactly?
So the way the video explains it, merit is essentially the good stuff you accumulate through your actions. Think positive actions, being virtuous, doing good deeds. It's like building up positive energy, you could say.
Okay, positive energy through actions. Does it give examples? Because that sounds a bit abstract.
Oh, yeah. Very concrete examples, actually. Things like helping to build roads or infrastructure, helping people who are struggling, maybe participating in activities at a temple or community center.
Practical things.
Right. And there's even an anecdote mentioned about some young people who got involved in these kinds of good deeds, and then they started noticing more positive things happening in their lives, more luck, basically.
Interesting, like a direct link almost. So doing good actually creates better circumstances for you.
That seems to be the idea presented.
Yeah.
It's suggested that this accumulated merit can sort of smooth the path for you.
What about in, say, business? Does it touch on that?
It does. It suggests that if someone is consistently finding it hard to get a business going, maybe hitting roadblocks, it could be a sign that they haven't built up enough merit.
So the advice isn't just about business strategy.
Not solely.
Yeah.
The advice offered in the video is actually to focus more on doing good deeds first, with the idea that this positive action can somehow attract the opportunities or the right conditions for the business to succeed later.
Huh. That's a different angle than you usually hear. What about learning? There was an example about that too, wasn't there?
Yes, a really neat one. It uses an analogy about needing ink. Imagine two students needing ink for their pens. One student just borrows some ink, planning to give it back. The other student, who has enough, actually shares their ink freely with a classmate who also needs it.
Ah, so one takes, one gives.
Exactly. And the video argues that the act of sharing, of generosity, so someone else can also learn, builds more merit for your own learning than just borrowing. This merit then supposedly helps your own studies go better.
So it's not just about getting what you need, but enabling others too. That definitely shifts the focus. Now, there's a common idea, right? That lots of money equals lots of merit. Does the video address that?
It does, and it makes a really important distinction. It points out that someone might, say, handle huge amounts of money, maybe they're a fund manager or work in finance, but that money isn't truly theirs.
Okay, they're just managing it.
Right. So while they might look wealthy on the outside, the video suggests this doesn't necessarily mean they have high personal merit. True wealth, the kind that comes with merit, is presented as being more stable, more ethically sound.
So it's questioning the source and the nature of wealth, not just the amount.
Precisely. It's about the ethical foundation.
And this idea of merit, it's not just about luck or money, right? It connects to learning abilities too.
Yes, absolutely. The video extends the concept there, suggesting that having good merit can actually manifest as having a better memory, understanding things more quickly, just generally being more successful academically.
Wow, so even cognitive skills.
It seems so. The speaker mentioned something called strong memory power, nananluki, and frames it as a form of merit. They even cite examples of people with seemingly photographic memories as potentially having this kind of merit.
That's fascinating. The idea that your past actions could influence something like your memory. Okay, so merit is like the foundation, the positive energy. But you said there were two factors.
That's right. Merit is crucial, but it's not enough on its own, according to the video. The second key factor is method, or phương pháp, having the right approach.
The right approach. So even with lots of merit, if you're doing things the wrong way.
It won't work, or it might even lead to problems. The video gives examples here, too.
Okay, let's take business again. What's the right method there, according to this perspective?
Well, beyond just making money, it emphasizes having good strategies, definitely, but also really strong ethical practices. The way you conduct your business matters just as much as the goal of profit.
Right, because you could have good fortune, good merit maybe, but if your methods are shady, it's probably not sustainable.
That's exactly the implication. Unethical methods, even if they bring short-term gains, aren't the right method for lasting positive success.
And for learning, what constitutes the right method?
The video points to a couple of things. Effective teaching methods are important, of course, but it also highlights the student's own role, their aptitude, sure, but also the effort they put in, how they approach studying.
So it's both external teaching and internal approach.
Yes. It mentions how, even in the same class with the same teacher, students grasp things differently. This highlights the teacher skill, yes, but also the individual student's method of learning.
Makes sense. And in spiritual practice, method is key there too.
Absolutely critical, the video stresses. Having the correct path, the right techniques, that's essential for any real spiritual progress. Good intentions alone, which might build some merit, aren't sufficient if the practice itself, the method, is flawed or incorrect.
Okay, so it really feels like these two, merit and method, are presented as needing to work hand in hand. You can't really separate them.
Exactly. The video is quite clear. They're interconnected. Both are essential for genuine, sustainable success in whatever you're pursuing.
It uses that spiritual cultivation analogy again, right?
Yes. It says you have enough merit built up and you are following a correct, genuine practice or method, then results, positive outcomes are pretty much inevitable. They will naturally arise.
So you can't just sit back and rely on past good deeds. You need an active, effective strategy.
Correct. And conversely, you could have the most brilliant method or plan, but if that underlying merit isn't there, you might find things just don't fall into place as easily. There might be unexpected obstacles.
Now, the video focuses quite a bit on how this applies specifically to spiritual practice. While that's interesting in itself, are there takeaways here that someone not on a formal spiritual path might find useful?
Oh, definitely. I think so. For instance, it discusses why not everyone who meditates or follows a spiritual path reaches enlightenment. The reasons given: lack of sufficient merit or using the wrong methods, or often both.
And that sounds exactly like why people might not succeed in other areas too. Not enough foundation or the wrong approach.
Precisely. The underlying principle holds. The video also mentions some early signs that might indicate you're making progress in spiritual practice.
Okay, what are those and how might they relate to, say, career or personal goals?
It lists things like sleeping better, having fewer minor illnesses, maybe noticing more small bits of good luck, relationships improving, even just having a more pleasant demeanor or presence.
I can see how those translate. Better health and sleep obviously boost productivity. Good luck could be seeing opportunities. Better relationships are key everywhere. A positive attitude opens doors.
Exactly. So these positive shifts, whether in spiritual practice or work or learning, can be seen as the fruit of combining that accumulated merit with applying the right methods consistently.
It really shows the interconnectedness. The video also talks about self-reflection, doesn't it? Which feels pretty universal.
Very much so. It emphasizes constant self-critique, especially in spiritual growth. The interesting point made is that recognizing your own flaws and shortcomings is actually presented as a sign of real progress.
As opposed to just patting yourself on the back.
Right. Contrasting it with self-praise or thinking you've got it all figured out, this need for honest self-assessment, looking at where you can improve, that's vital in any field, isn't it? Business, learning, personal development.
Absolutely. That internal feedback loop. There's also a warning about feeling peaceful during meditation. Like, don't get complacent.
Yes. Exactly. The video cautions against mistaking initial feelings of calm or quiet during meditation for the final goal. It stresses that there are deeper impurities, deeper levels to work through.
And the parallel for other goals.
Well, it's like achieving an early win at work or understanding the basics of a subject. That's great, it's progress, but it shouldn't lead to thinking, okay, I'm done. True mastery or long-term success requires continuous effort, refinement, going deeper.
Recognizing it's a journey, not just a destination. The video also mentions finding a genuine teacher, a minsu, and seeking guidance, maybe through prayer. How does that translate more broadly?
I think the core idea is the value of mentorship and seeking guidance.
Hmm.
In any complex endeavor career, learning, starting something new, finding someone experienced, a mentor or guide, can be incredibly helpful.
Someone who's been down that road.
Exactly. And the act of seeking guidance itself, whether you frame it as prayer or just asking for advice, researching, being open to input that's crucial for navigating challenges effectively.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, shifting slightly, the video gets quite practical about meditation itself, offering specific techniques for dealing with, the wandering mind. Given that you, our listener, are interested in knowledge and clarity, these might be quite relevant.
Yes, potentially very useful techniques for anyone looking to improve focus or mental calmness. There are three main ones highlighted.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is about understanding your thoughts. The suggestion isn't to fight them, but to recognize them for what they are. Often, the video says, echoes of past negative actions or karmic imprints. And realizing that even when the mind feels briefly still, that's not the end goal. Deeper stuff remains.
So it's a kind of mindful observation, acknowledging the thoughts without getting swept away.
Precisely. The act of just recognizing them, the video suggests, is a form of inner reflection, almost like repentance in a way.
Okay, what's the second technique?
The second focuses on awareness of breath. But crucially, it's about passive awareness. Just noticing the breath coming in, going out, not trying to control it, deepen it, or change it in any way.
Just observing the natural rhythm.
Exactly. And it mentions an interesting side note. As the mind calms, the breath might become naturally very, very shallow. And surprisingly, studies show high oxygen levels even then. But the video sort of leaves the scientific explanation for later, keeping it focused on the practice.
Huh, intriguing. So passive breath awareness, and the third technique?
The third is body awareness with a specific focus point. The lower abdomen and the perineum area called hayam in the video.
Okay, why there?
The advice is to keep a soft, gentle awareness anchored in that region while maintaining a relaxed, still posture. The idea presented is that mental agitation often causes our awareness to kind of flutter upwards or outwards away from this grounding point. So keeping the focus there helps stabilize the mind.
So understanding thoughts, passive breath awareness, and gentle focus on the lower body. These work together.
Yes, they're presented as three interconnected techniques to help quiet that initial layer of mental chatter, that surface restlessness, paving the way for potentially deeper states.
Got it. And finally, the video wraps up by reminding us that this whole process, whether it's spiritual growth or achieving success in any field, it's long.
Yes, it really emphasizes that. The path from a restless mind to enlightenment, or from starting out to achieving significant, stable success, it's not quick. Quieting the surface thoughts is just a very early step.
It loops back to the beginning, doesn't it?
It does, underscoring again the need for a virtuous life, continually cultivating that merit, alongside consistently applying the right, effective ethical methods. Both remain crucial throughout the journey.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up our deep dive today on the secret of cause and effect for success, we've really explored these two core ideas from the video. Merit, that foundation of positive action and intention.
And method, the skillful, correct, and ethical approach you take in whatever you're doing.
And the key takeaway seems to be that you really need both. They work together. Merit without the right method might not lead anywhere specific, and method without that underlying merit might face constant, unexpected hurdles.
It's a powerful combination to consider. Strong, positive grounding, plus skillful ethical action.
So as you, our listener, think about your own ambitions, your own goals maybe at work, in your learning, personal growth, whatever area matters to you, it might be useful to reflect on these two dimensions. Ask yourself, how can I actively cultivate more merit, more positive impact in my daily life? And am I truly using the most effective and, importantly, the most ethical methods to move towards my goals?
Yeah, those are definitely thought-provoking questions arising from this material. It offers a framework that encourages not just effectiveness, but also mindfulness and ethical consideration in whatever we pursue.
It's all part of that ongoing journey of learning and growth. Hopefully, exploring these ideas today has given you some valuable food for thought.